Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to be once again returning to this video and the individual who created it because the surrounding situations have gotten even crazier. We have now gotten, I believe, the third or fourth final response from this creator, this time addressing claims that people are making that he used to associate with several members of the Smash community who were eventually outed as legitimate predators. And in his response right here, he would claim that the lolly likers on Twitter were mad in raising that whole situation up because they were jealous of the Smash players for getting the real thing. And the real thing he's referring to is real children being abused by these Smash players. Yeah, this is a very bad situation and things are continuing to spiral out of control. So let's remind ourselves how we got here. So this is the individual who made this video a lot of people have been talking about over the past couple of days. This is his attempt to identify the various issues he thinks exist in the VTubing scene, and basically any valid point he was trying to make was completely overshadowed by the contents of the first minute of that video because he did some pretty egregious things. Beginning with this, so he shared a sample of the video on Twitter, which was the first minute of the video, and in that first minute, he showed a bunch of Japanese-speaking VTubers, and he claimed that they were racist because they were saying the N-word. Now, a lot of these VTubers are, of course, Japanese speakers, and as this note points out on Twitter, a lot of them were simply repeating lines from GTA, and they didn't know what those lines actually meant. And the most egregious example are several Japanese VTubers being portrayed by this creator as saying the N-word, but in reality, they were simply saying a Japanese word that, if cut off in a certain way, would sound like they were saying the N-word. And the worst part of this video, in my opinion, is the fact that at one point, he is sympathizing with the Kenji situation where recently he talked about how a group of former friends were passing around his personal information on Discord and other places, including images of his real-life face. However, in the first 15 seconds of this video, he showed the real-life face of a current agency VTuber that came from a past life account that has no association to their current work. And again, just like I said in yesterday's video, please don't go out looking for this clip or this VTuber in question. Don't name them in the comment section. You just need to know that he did this to a VTuber. He showed their real life face for absolutely no reason, which is incredibly hypocritical when you look at his sympathy for someone like Kenji. However, he would eventually, despite doubling down many times, he would delete the teaser onto Twitter, and he would also edit out the first minute of that video, getting rid of that particular set of bad points and bad, really framing of various VTubers in the first part of that video. But as you can see in this now deleted post, one of many deleted posts, he essentially mocks the women that he was using for these points and then says that he is not sorry for nothing he said. Now, moving forward, a lot of people were promoting this video really hard, including some big names in the VTubing scene who just should know better than to promote that teaser image and the video itself before all that stuff was edited out. Okay, I saw a lot of people who should know better. They didn't even watch the first 10 to 15 seconds, or they were simply okay with it and didn't care because they supported the general message of this video. And we saw people like this Aurora individual say, "You're a king, sir," with the teaser here that, of course, had the very bad stuff in the beginning, the first 10 to 15 seconds. And on top of that, only a few weeks ago, when talking about the Kenji situation, she said, doxing will never be okay, and talked about how this can ruin people's lives and it's a threat to their privacy. Meanwhile, she's promoting and saying this is king stuff to a video showing the IRL face of a VTuber against their wishes, because clearly they didn't want this stuff to be circulating around. Now, of course, we shouldn't expect too much out of this individual because back in the Hogwarts Legacy harassment campaign, they said being doxxed is basically coming with the territory of playing Hogwarts Legacy because trans people are going through a lot, so basically if you play this game, well, whatever happens, happens, including getting doxxed, for example. But anyways, this now looks absolutely terrible. Still up after 2 days, replying to the now deleted teaser of that video. You can pretty much frame this, put it on a wall, it's pretty iconic. Now, returning to the video itself, a lot of people have been attacking those criticizing the video and its creator, saying that these people are simply mad because he's calling out racism in the VTubing scene. What these people on Twitter don't understand is that two things can exist at the same time. Racism can be bad, and also the first part of this video was malicious. you can call him out for that while also agreeing with some of his messages too. But people would rather dismiss all criticism of what he did because they want to share the message and they think anything criticizing this video is somehow dismissing everything else. Well, he shot himself in the foot when he included that first part of the video. He distracted everybody from the actual points he was trying to make, and instead everyone's focusing on the malicious actions contained in the first seconds of the video. Now, he would make an initial final statement, the first of his many final statements on the matter, where he would pretty much double down on everything, right? He's not apologizing for anything. He's just kind of covering his tracks when it comes to deleting and editing things out. But he would say, I'm standing by what I said. And he would use an absolutely wild defense when addressing the whole face sharing incident in the beginning of the video. He would say that he's allowed to share the face of this VTuber because they said an offensive word, because he's open about his past where he used to violently beat people up and rob people in real life.
If niggas is gonna sue me for talking about some shit that was already up because Shorty's trying to distance herself from who she was, I get it. She has her right to want a distance. However, digital footprint, it allows for niggas to say, You feel me? So that's what I did. I'd be lying if I said I feel sorry for doing it. However, if Shorty feels bad that her face was brought back up to this magnitude and this light, that's understandable. I would never deny you your feelings if you feel them. You got that. Just like y'all shouldn't deny how we feel when y'all motherfuckers punch down on us and make the space uncomfortable because niggas is dark. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Now, a lot of y'all are chronically on the internet, so y'all not used to this type of energy without a backpedal, but check. This is who the fuck I am, B. I'm a nigga from outside, and that comes with a lot of bad sometimes. I was beating niggas up. I was robbing niggas. I talk about it all the time in my music. It's what life was for me. Thankfully, a nigga been able to calm down a bit because I've been focused on other shit.
So following this guy's logic, you get to a very crazy result. So if a VTuber says an offensive word, the relevant information surrounding them is apparently always fair game, right? It's always relevant. So when it comes to his past, which includes, by his own admission, violently attacking people and robbing people, I guess that's always relevant too. So now we're sitting in a situation where we have these past actions being forever relevant. And on the scales of judgment here, which one do you think is worse? Do you think it's the VTuber saying some offensive words? Or do you think it's the guy who violently attacked and robbed people in real life? Which one do you think is worse? Now the crazy part is, I know there's people on Twitter who are going to say a VTuber saying an offensive word is worse than real life people being harmed. I know there's people out there who believe that, and that is insane. It's insane. But let's move on. So more people started criticizing his claims in the video. He calls out homophobia, for example. He makes a big to-do about calling out homophobia in the VTubing scene, how there's homophobia everywhere. But people made compilations. This guy's a rapper, by the way. And users like this made a quick compilation of every time this guy said the F slur. You know, the one that is another word for a bundle of sticks or an English cigarette. Okay, you can figure it out. There is a whole compilation of him saying this in his music over and over again. And he would try to dismiss this in the video as, well, this was just a part of rap battles when I would say some of these words. These are not rap battles. These are just straight up music videos on many different occasions where you said this word. So that's just a cop-out. And not a single person who is defending this guy has ever acknowledged any of this. Right? They're going to cancel and attack these other VTubers for the part of the video with the N-word stuff, but nobody's going to have any criticism here. No one's going to call out the hypocrisy of him calling out homophobia, but saying all these things in his music videos. And moving forward, a lot of people would be calling him out. The tide's definitely turned over the past 24 hours where people were jumping on him in the replies, basically showing like this tough guy's having a little bit of a meltdown, doing many final responses, seeming to take a lot of this in. But we see this claim right here with a lot of support, saying, speaking of going, why did you hang out with so many pedophiles? Now, that's a very crazy thing to say. Why are people saying this? Well, a lot of people have noticed that he used to be a part of the Smash scene. Whether a player or not, we get into semantics, or he gets into semantics with it, he was clearly, by his own admission, close to some people in the pro Smash scene. People who would, by his own admission, eventually get outed as predators. He would claim that he disassociated from these people, which is okay, great, but it doesn't change the fact that this was something that he was around. He was around these people, eventually got outed. And he would address this in another now deleted tweet, saying he's never been to Mexico, which Mexico is the site where some of these Smash players went to meet up and abuse these children. And he would say this and then eventually go on a blocking spree. He hadn't blocked anyone until this whole Smash thing was brought up and that his old friends from that community were outed as legitimate predators. However, he would make the now final statement on this matter, addressing primarily the connection to the Smash community. And of course, I'm not trying to claim anything that's not true. Based on his own statements, I think it's very clear, and also from looking around, there's no evidence he's gone to Mexico like these other Smash people. There's no evidence that this guy has done anything to kids. Any claims of that right now are completely unfounded. But it is interesting to hear him admit that multiple people he was close to got outed as predators. And he is on Twitter in this same tweet saying how the VTubing community is so toxic and the worst. Meanwhile, you're a part of a community that had a giant list of people getting outed as legitimate predators, as criminals. I think you don't have the best judgment of people if that's happening around you, and now you're going to go to the VTubing scene and say it's so much worse. Which, by the way, there is no VTubing community. It's so fractured and spread out. There's no real unified VTuber community. But if you look at the VTubing scene, sure, there's problems, but the Smash scene? But in the Smash scene, we're talking about people traveling across borders to abuse kids. That's a bit different, don't you think? But just like his initial video, he would overshadow his own defenses and his own words by making a randomly really ill-advised section where he starts attacking lolicons out of nowhere. It had nothing to do with anything, but he would randomly lash out at them and say this crazy statement.
We'll go to Mexico to sleep with underage girls. Nasty. Disgusting. Absolutely filthy. Fuck them niggas. To this day, fuck them niggas. Y'all niggas was down there chasing baby butt, and I hope you're never allowed near children. Which is probably why y'all niggas are really trying hard to push this agenda of pedophilia onto us. Because y'all niggas like lolly porn, and you probably see yourselves in these cornballs, and you're jealous they got to do it, and you didn't, but I digress. Any ties to anyone that got called out that day were cut that day. 10-year-long friendships type shit. Smoked. Because shit came out. And it was what it was, and it is what it is. Protect the babies. That's something that I always say.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real, I don't really have much to say about that. That is truly one of the grosser things I've heard someone say. You really think people who are enjoying a fictional piece of content are in any way comparable to people who traveled across international borders to R-word children? You think these things are comparable, or that they should be jealous? Anyone in the world should be jealous of those disgraced Smash people? Absolutely insane. The situation gets worse and worse, and honestly, he just needs to stop talking. Every time he talks, he just gives people more ammunition, and it's giving people more reason to go keep looking into this guy's life and his past. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.